We did want to mention Syria because I think that the president made a very, very important statement in his press conference the other day where he said this is not a contest with Russia.
And he said we're willing to work with Russia if over the long term that means that Assad leaves. And this is what I proposed actually on Russian television from the United Nations last week during the General Assembly. I said, my hope would be that President Obama and President Putin could arrive at a compromise where they both get to save face. Assad leaves, but he doesn't leave until the present difficulties, as FDR used to refer to World War II, until the present difficulties are resolved, and that we both work to resolve those difficulties.
That's correct. Now, we are in northeastern Syria, and the Russians are in the western part, but I think that the thing that will be important, and I'm sure the White House is doing it, there still has to be communication between our countries because, Lord forbid something happens and a plane is shot down or something, there's got to be calmer heads to prevail.
Right.
Because meanwhile, Carly Fiorina, and this was, somebody debated me on this today, but she did call for the potential, if she were president, of aggressive action against Russia. Well, aggressive action can only mean one thing, and that would be some type of military type of action.
Shooting their planes out of the sky.
Of course, and John McCain, on Sunday television was doing the usual where he said, our president has to tell Putin this and has to tell Putin that. But it's a geopolitical strategy because you have Assad of Syria, and let's say he's a bad guy. Let's just throw that out there, all right? Mm-hmm. And, of course, so was Hosni Mubarak, and, of course, so was Saddam Hussein, and we can see what...
Well, so is right now the king of Saudi Arabia, the head of Bahrain, the head of Emirates. These are not Democrats, small d Democrats. These are all despots, basically.
And, the premier of China, we can put him in some kind of category. Yeah. We can look at all of that, but the point remains this is geopolitical, and you do have Assad, and you have the Iranians, and you have the Iraqis also.
Right. And this is the other thing, Bob, in addition to Iraq being part of Russia's coalition with Iran, which never gets mentioned on American television, Israel, at least according to Professor Steve Cohen on this program last week, Israel is part of Russia's coalition. Why does the American media never mention the fact that the Russians put together a coalition which includes Iraq and Israel?
Well, that's right. I mean, they don't mention it, and Israel is not unhappy over what's going on because, ISIS will be eliminated if the Russians, can get in there and do it. Now, the other thing, too, is that, we've got this false thing. John McCain, I have to pick on him because he's the main guy that says all these things. And John McCain is the one who was supporting the one leader who later on we see cut his opponent's heart out. So, these are the friends John McCain thinks are going to be our friends.
Who is John McCain supporting?
He was supporting a leader over there, quote, freedom leader, who actually cut his own opponent's heart out and was screaming, God is great. That's John McCain.
Wow. Bob Nave, former Congressman Bob Nave, Talk Radio News Service, author of Sideswipe. Bob, great to have you with us. Thank you very much.